it's Abby here with Scrap and Abby, and I have another project share, well, the beginning of the project actually. So this is going to be under the playlist for all the different DIY crafty things I'm doing for my daughter's bedroom, but I'm going to label this, you know, fabric banner, probably like teal and coral fabric banner, something like that. So I wanted to share with you before I began what materials I gathered to make this really cool fabric banner for my daughter's bedroom, which is going to be hung. I'm envisioning this being, you know, like a swag banner over her headboard underneath a really large letter K that I kind of altered a little bit. So we'll kind of see how it all comes together. But anyway, so I wanted to share with you before I started. So I purchased all of this stuff at Walmart. This was a 14-piece 7 design strips of fabric, and this was like almost, it was like the crafty heavens opened for me, because this is exactly the palette I was looking for color wise. And so, because my daughter's favorite colors are teal, coral, and, you know, gray, black, white, that kind of mix. So this is perfect. I mean, it's absolutely perfect. So I grabbed this pack. They had 3, but I only needed 1, and I pulled one out to just show you. So this is folded in half, so this is doubled. So this is plenty of fabric for me to do the banner with, as far as these pattern pieces. And any scraps that I have left, of course, I will keep in my crafty stash, and then I can use it for future projects for my daughter down the road for her room. So in a mix with those, I wanted to grab a little bit of white. I wasn't sure what, I know I have a lot of white, different types of fabrics and stuff, but I wasn't sure if I had just like a fabric, like a white cotton. That's what I was looking for. So this was in the remnant section, and it was 57 cents. So I couldn't pass that up. Like I've told you ladies before in most of my videos, when I haul fabric and stuff, I always check the remnant bins, because I'm not like a seamstress where I'm going to go buy, you know, fabric that's like 10 bucks a yard or something, unless it was like, you know, amazingly purple and I had to have it type of thing. So I always like to just get the remnants for the most part for me. And this was only 50 cents. And this is a really pretty pattern. It's got a couple different shades of gray and white that will mix really nicely with that. I may end up just using just what's in this pack, because this is like perfect. But I wanted to have some additional options, and like I said, whatever I don't use in the banner, I can use elsewhere. So these are a couple different of the fat quarters. I love these patterns. I'm not sure if I'll mix these in with this or create something totally different, but it's nice to have them, because these are things I can, you know, stretch over on a canvas or something like that, or, you know, an old picture frame or something that I've painted white or something, and put the fabric and make like a little pin board, memo board for her. And then I grabbed this scarf. It was only $5, and my daughter and I, we are huge scarf fans, and coming from Oregon now living in Florida, we clearly don't need as many scarves, meaning, sorry, my phone just went off, as far as like walking outside, because we don't have like the cold winters and rainy, cold, icy days like here in Florida, obviously, like we do in Oregon. But we still have all of our scarves because I love them. So I bought this because I was thinking that if I wanted to incorporate any more of the coral, I could kind of cut this apart. And I know, I'm like, Abby, can you really take apart this really gorgeous coral colored scarf? So I'm going to do my best to reserve this off to the side, because my daughter would probably like this to wear to school, I'm sure, because there are some cooler days, of course, here in Florida. We're only a month in, so, you know, and it's July, so it's like the hottest time right now. But I really like the different textures on here. I love this lacy portion right here, and then the fringe on the side. So I probably will end up cutting this, but I'm going to try to reserve myself to not. But anyway, or I could even, you know, just cut this apart and then kind of swag it over her window or something like that as a decor piece in her room. So that is what I have. And then I haven't decided yet what I'm going to tie all the fabric pieces on yet, what type of material, or if I'm going to use some really heavy jute or twine cording. I'm not sure yet, and I'll come back on camera once I've kind of gotten the banner started. I won't be able to show the whole thing on my desk, because obviously it's gonna be longer than my craft table, but I will do a closing, like a final view of the excuse me, let me backtrack. Sorry, my facial pain is really picking up right now. So once I get the banner completed and it's hung up on the wall in her bedroom, then I'll take my camera off the tripod, and then I'll go in there and film and let you see it when it's completed and hung on the wall versus just being on a pile on my table. But I will come back on camera and show you how I'm easily just going to tie these on to whatever material I choose to use as the actual string or fabric for the banner. Hope that made sense. So I will see you ladies in just a little bit, and I'm excited to get started on this project. See you in a little bit. Hi ladies, okay, I'm back and I have cut all of the fabric that I shared with you in the first part of the video into all these little strips. They're about 22 inches long and let's see, I think about an inch wide is what I measured them at. So this is the white that I shared. These are all the strips that were in that fabric pack except for this. This was also a remnant scrap, and as yeah, these are all in the pack. And these ones right here are that scarf that I ended up cutting. And I just love how sheer this is, and it's very, very shabby. And I'm looking to see, let me show you really quickly over here without making you too dizzy. This is the rest of that scarf. These are some more projects I'm working on for her room. So I was very careful. These are little scraps which I'm going to keep. I love it because it's got the fringe on it. Oh, that's so cute. And then these are the 4 bits of the kind of the lacy part of that. And I wanted to keep those separate for a different project for her. So what I did with the help of my husband is we went into my daughter's room and we measured above her headboard where I wanted this to go, and then we found the center, which we marked with washi tape, which is where that first white one is there. And then I just have this jute twine that's kind of strung up while I'm putting it together up onto that basket, and then it goes all the way across here and just ties onto one of my metal flat files. So hopefully I'm not making you dizzy. And this is the center here, and I gave myself a lot of extra room on the ends because I wasn't sure how I wanted to finish it off exactly, and I didn't want to be too short. So this is the pattern that I'm going with as far as like the colors in order, and I'll just keep repeating that pattern. So I'll work from this side over, then come back over to this side. And the cool thing about this is that since the way I tied these, and just a little loose knot, these and I'll show you when my husband comes in to hold the camera. It's hard with me because I'm not left-handed, but you can kind of slide these and move them around. So whenever, because I have more of this material and the teal than I do these colored strips. This is all I have. So I really wanted to focus on putting the ones that came in that multi-pack, putting them kind of centered in the center. So I'm going to do one section here, and then go back, and then go back instead of just repeating. That way these really cool colors are really focused more in the center of the fabric banner, and then I can really use the white, teal, and the coral from the scarf on the ends if I need to do that. So I'm going to go grab my husband, have him hold my camera so I can show you how I put this on here to see you kind of a visual, and I'll be back in just a minute. Okay ladies, so I have my husband holding the camera for me because I wanted to show you how I tie these on. It's very, very simple and easy. So as I mentioned in the last clip, I'm just going to repeat this pattern over here, but I'm only going to do a couple on camera because I think you'll get the idea after the first one. So, plus there are a ton of other tutorials on YouTube for this too. This is just me documenting the one I'm making for my daughter. So I'm taking the strap, or the fabric, I fold it in half, and the part that's got the loop, I put that close to my body, and the way I remember it is I say, the whole, you know, the loop is towards my heart, and then I just grab the tails this way, grab it, and then I'm just going to go through the center and then just pull through just like this. Of course my ceiling fan's on, so, and then you can grab the fabric and twist it over if it tends to do that. And you got to be a little bit careful because I don't want my jute twine to come off of the baskets I have it tied to. And that's all you do, and then you can easily adjust this to where it flips around to the front, and then you can make the size of this knot smaller. I did do a couple smaller just to kind of share with you. Like this is a smaller knot here if you like that look. This is a little bit wider. It just kind of depends on what your taste is. So that's really all you do. And I'll go ahead and do one more for you. Let's see, you got my little blue flower one next. Again, just going to grab it this way and then go this way. Now you can obviously flip this and put this on the other side if you want. I just like the way the knot looks for me on this way, the way the direction I'm going. So I just like it. And so what I was trying to share with you in the last clip as well is that the really cool way about thing about looping these on instead of tying them in like a double knot and having them hang off is that if I decide, gosh, I found some really cute fabric I want to include in this, I can just easily slide these around and they move, and it's perfect. And you can also adjust, you know, the width in between each bit of fabric. Now, one last thing is I love how this looks. All the strings coming off, like look at how cool that is. That's the fabric fringe on the end of that bolt, that little remnant I purchased. Some people may not like that, and you can snip it off if you want to. I like it, and I also like how the strings are kind of hanging off all wispy like that. It's very, very cool. But if you don't and you want it to be a little bit cleaner, you can of course just take your scissors and just after you finish putting the banner together, you can just come and just kind of snip those off, and then you don't have to worry about it. But again, I think the charm of these fabric banners is the you know, the fabric, the threads kind of being off, and it just makes it really cute and shabby. So I will be back once I get the banner completed and we have it up on the wall in my daughter's room. So ladies, I will see you in just a little bit. Hi ladies, just want to come on camera one more time really quickly here regarding the banner. So I already have the fabric, you know, Shabby Chic Swag banner already hanging up in her room, and I'm going to go film that as soon as I film this little clip here. I was trying to figure out a way how I wanted to end the banner, meaning the end points on either side. I toyed around with the idea of making a really big flower, you know, probably like almost the size of this, to kind of do that, and then I was afraid that would take away from the swag itself, so I just decided to go with a couple super simple and sweet little bows. So what I did is I just used a couple scraps from the material I have left from the banner, which I will save for a future project, and these can be dyed as well too, so I don't have to use this the same color if I want to make it something different down the road that's not for my daughter's room. So all I did is just layered two of the strips together, put the coral on top of the teal, and then I just made two little cute bows, real super simple. So what I'm going to do on the backs of each of them is I have this Scotch Guard foam tape, and I just cut a little piece here, just a wedge on the back of each one, and then I'm going to stick that to the little clear command hanging thing I have to kind of cover that. Plus it's clear, you can't really see it, but that gives me a good surface to go against instead of putting that directly, this tape directly on the wall. And then I'll just have these on the ends of the swag, and it'll be really super cute. So stay tuned for the video clip where I show you the entire banner up on the wall. See you in just a little bit. Hi ladies, so here's the completed fabric banner. Please ignore the little strings from the ceiling fan there. Can't get those out of the way. This is how it turned out, and I think it's absolutely adorable on her wall. I ended up doing some little bows, as I shared in the last part of the video, to tie off the ends of the banner swag, and I'll zoom in so you can take a little closer look. And then those are just the clear command strips that I use, and it looks great. You cannot see it when you're standing here, but of course zoomed in you do. And I left some little tails of that twine. I think it just looks really cool. Kind of ties in a little bit of the darker colors in the room, a little bit rustic, so I kind of like that. So that is what I did for the ends, just the two bows there. And we have it centered underneath the K, and I think it turned out really super cute. So I'll just kind of zoom in so you can get a little bit closer look at each little section here. And this was a really easy project to do. I did not think that I would get it done that same night because I was kind of hitting my facial pain wall, but I ended up getting it done. I just put on a YouTube video and just was listening to it and kind of got it whipped out pretty quick. But I think it's just really cute, and I'll come a little bit closer. And it's just a great way to either use up your scraps that you have, or, you know, you look in the remnant sections or by the fat quarters or the clearance, you know, fabrics like I did for this one, or as I shared earlier, this is just a scarf that was on clearance, even for at garage sales this summer, or, you know, Goodwill or something, or you have a scarf you don't wear anymore because it has a stain or a rip or something, you can cut it apart and use it in your crafting. That's just one application I use the scarf for. So, and I'll have a separate video showing all the projects I made using that scarf, at least to this point. But I think it turned out really cute. I like how it looks along the wall. And my husband, of course, helped me hang it because I would not be able to do that by myself. But I think it looks really good. And I've had some positive feedback already from some of my family and friends that I've sent pictures to, just to kind of share with them, because they know I've been working on projects for her room. And it just looks really nice. It's just a nice, soft, kind of girly, feminine touch to add to the decor. And it's an inexpensive way, like I said, to add. If you don't have money to go buy, you know, actual bedroom decor like at the different stores and stuff, you could make something like this and really dress it up. So I just wanted to share that with you ladies. Let me know if you have any questions, or, you know, comment below and let me know if you've made these fabric banners yourself. I'd love to know what you've made, and I can take a peek at what you've done as well. Just share your link below. Thanks for watching. Happy scrapping, happy crafting, happy planning, and I'll see you next time. Bye!